pick them up because
That's
when it
and
comes to
that's absolutely
logs and
fine.
that,
That
I
is
was
absolutely fine. You can leave your loggers out multiple nights. But what you need to know is the valuable data, these loudspeakers, is
Mhm.
only going to be found on the very first night that the loggers were out. So when you uploaded the data, you actually correctly scrolled the calendar back, that from and until date. You correctly scrolled it back to include that first night of data, which would have been July 16th. So your from date was correct of July 16th, and your until date, then you made it July 17th, and you sent up both days worth of data, which is great. You actually did it correctly for when you leave the loggers out. I just want to let you know that when you do upload multiple days worth of data, you always need to scroll back to the very first night that the loggers listened, because that's going to be the only night that these loudspeakers are active, because these loggers do not have enough memory in their storage in their memory to store more than one night of this loudspeaker data.
okay.
Okay, and it's this loudspeaker data that gives you correlations. Okay,
Okay.
so you did everything correct. It's just that some people, when they will upload multiple days worth of data, ZoneScan is going to open up to the most recent day. So you would have opened up College in Lincoln and seen July 17th. You would have gone into your correlations and you would have seen no correlations. And you would have said, oh, you know what? There's no leaks here. However, if there was a real leak, it wouldn't have showed up in correlations on the 17th anyway, because you don't have the loudspeaker data. You don't
Okay.
have the correlation data. You would have had to scroll back to July 16th. The speaker data would be there, and then your leaks would have showed up in your correlations. Okay, we get that.
All right. Well, right now, I don't know who draw them other lines in. I hadn't messed with that yet because I'm going through just trying to find the loud noises and
Right, right.
I get the loud noises, I can come in and draw in the lines.
And
I don't
that's
know who drew the lines in.
okay. Yeah, that's exactly right. You really don't now. Now I understand you might be getting your system GIS map that we can upload your entire GIS system onto ZoneScan. I don't know where we are with that. Is that going to happen or no? Are we going to maintain
Mike Hughes
manual?
said he was going to look into it, but I ain't asked him again.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to teach you. I don't know who drew in these lines.
So
I
I drew in, I did Renwood and the city park. So I did all the city park stuff.
We did I think I think for the first training we did
We did the,
Caldwell Street. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Caldwell and Allen.
I
so
did all of that.
okay. Do we want to review how to draw in pipe in between two loggers? Do we want to
not
do that
really.
today, or
It's
are
pretty
we okay with that?
self-explanatory. I mean, it's not.
Because what's going to happen is what here's the thing: when you put your loggers out and you collect data and you send the data up to ZoneScanNet, if you're not getting any correlations, there's really no need for you to draw in the pipe between loggers. Correlations means we're not hearing a leak on the data from today, so adding pipe isn't going to magically make a leak appear. However, if you do get correlations in the correlation tab, then you do want to draw in the pipe in between the two loggers that are correlating, and someone's already done this. Because if I delete all this pipe, if I delete the pipe, you can see this correlation. And again, a correlation is just always between two loggers hearing a leak in between them. So a correlation is two loggers hearing a leak between them. Two loggers hearing a leak between them, and there's no pipe, meaning that these loggers don't know the length between them, the pipe material or the pipe diameter, are going to give you this double-headed arrow, meaning that, hey, there's a potential leak in between us, but we can't pinpoint exactly where it is until you put us on a piece of pipe. And then you go in and you do your create pipe between your two loggers. And then I might have to recalculate here. Hold on. Which one is this? It's called Pearl. Oh, why am I still getting a single-headed, double-headed arrow here? Hold on a second. So once you get your double-headed arrow, that's when you go in and you draw your pipe. Oops. I think it's okay. Once you draw your pipe, then now Zone Scan says, "Hey, you gave me all the information necessary for me to pinpoint the leak." And then drawing the pipe is only half the battle. Now that you've drawn in the pipe, you got to go in and select the correct material and diameter of that length of pipe. So I don't remember what this was. It's probably the same thing. Ductile iron 4-inch. Okay. So that's drawing pipe in between two loggers that are correlating. If you don't have pipe, but you have correlation, you're going to get that double-headed arrow. And that's just saying, hey, draw a piece of pipe in between us two so we can now pinpoint where the leak is, okay? Now, a word about correlations and leaks. They're 40%, which is not the greatest quality leak in the world. You're going to see much higher quality leaks over time. Let me show you a higher quality leak.
Go back to Caldwell.
Is there a high one on there? I don't see that one up here.
Maple 1.
Yeah, Maple 1 had 100% or something, I think. Oh,
that's the one I forgot to change the area on. I got to reset them out on Maple.
oh, that's okay. If you scroll back to June 30th.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, was this a leak here? You guys found a leak here, right?
Well, we think there is, but we hadn't been over there. It's underneath the asphalt, so
Yeah, it's probably up here. It's not down.
Yeah, it's the yellow for sure.
Yeah, it's up here. That's up here. Okay, so let's use this as an example. This, yeah, you can see as the leak quality increases, it starts to turn it red. And you have some other quality correlations in here too. What is probably happening here? Hold on, let me get a lay of the land here.
No. I think it's in the box. Did you look in the box?
Well, that 80% is actually between two loggers. So okay. Okay, so yeah, that's what a high quality correlation looks like. It's going to turn red. It's going to have a much better correlation graph to it, a nice high spike as opposed to a lower quality correlation that we were seeing in what was the other one? Pearl.
No. Because we brought it out.
Okay, so that's your correlations, and that is sending data up on the correct day. If you have multiple days worth of data, you got to scroll back to the very first day that there is data.
Gotcha.
Which one was that? College in Lincoln. Okay, so keep an eye on those loudspeakers. If you did put out your loggers more than one night, you're going to have to scroll that calendar back to get the right data. No leaks in this little area, so there's no reason to draw in your pipe. Okay.
Cool.
Are there any other specific questions that you want me to address on zone scan while we're here?
Not really. I'm usually pretty good at figuring stuff out. So I
Yeah.
mean, most
Uh,
of the time I don't have much trouble with computer programs and stuff.
okay. Okay.
So,
Are you aware how to print out your reports and everything?
no, I do not.
Okay, there's a little printer icon right here. If you need to print out reports for your record keeping or to give to city council or your supervisor, you can easily print out the day's report by tapping on the little printer up here. There are 3 types of reports that can be generated out of zone scan: a leak detection report, a correlation report, and a logger noise report. I'm not the biggest fan of the logger noise report. You can certainly open it up and see what it does. And depending upon the screen that you're on, Zone Scan is going to highlight the 2 reports that you can print out from this screen, and they're going to gray out the report that you cannot print out from this screen. So right now I cannot print out the correlation report, but there are no correlations, so there wouldn't be a report anyway to print out. But let's say you want to show DEP or whomever that you're doing leak detection, that you're putting out your loggers, you're covering an area. This college in Lincoln is a perfect example. You put the loggers out, you covered an area, but you didn't have any leaks, which is okay, but you still want to print out a report indicating that you've done the work. So you can go right into your report, your printer, click on the printer, click on leak detection report, and then create leak detection report comes up, and it has all the things that you can check or uncheck to include in your report. I usually just keep them all checked, and then hit open, and you will now see a report that you can print out, or you can save as a PDF and email it. But this report gives you a little summary, a printed summary of what you just did. So you can see the loggers that you put out, which the 4 loggers, the address, the street address of where they were placed, and the little map overview of where they were placed. And that's it. The leak scores were here, and that's your report. If you have a leak, what was the good leak?
Maple, right?
Maple. If you got a great correlation, you're going to highlight the correlation in the correlation tab here. And now when I go into my printer, my correlation report exists. I click on that. All 3, because you had 3 correlations, there are 3 potential reports that you can print out. So a little drop-down menu of all your correlations. Select the 80% or which one you want to open, which one you want to create a report on. Hit open. And now I've got a great report that I can actually take out into the field to do further investigation of this leak. So this report is showing me where the location of the leak is, 125 Caldwell Street. And a correlation is between 2 loggers. So in this case, this 80% blister spot leak is being reported on by these 2 loggers, 080 and 083. And the report is going to give you, looking across the bottom here, the quality of the correlation, 80%. The higher, the better. But 80% is pretty decent, and that's why Zone Scan Net turns it red. And then it's going to give you the closest street address of the leak, 125 Caldwell Street. And then continuing to look across the graph, you'll see logger 1 and logger 2. Logger 1 is 080, logger 2 is 083, and then you'll see distance L1. Distance L1 is the location of the leak if you measured starting from logger number 1, which was 080, which was the one down here. So if you took your measuring tool out into the field and you measured starting from that valve of where you put that logger, you're going to go 389.8 feet. And that's going to bring you to the leak. And then distance L2 is just simply the distance if you measured starting from the other logger, which was 083, and working down Allen Street, you would have to go 390 feet till you came to the leak. And then the pipe length is just your total length of pipe between the two loggers, 780 feet between the two loggers. Now remember, this data here is only as accurate as the pipe that you drew in between these two loggers. And it's only as accurate as the pipe material and diameter that you put in between these two loggers. And you can see I can take my cursor and I can hover it over the pipe, and I can see that this is ductile iron 2-inch. And I can go down here on this segment, and you can see that this is cast iron 6-inch. So those are the two materials of pipe that ZoneScan is using to calculate and pinpoint where this leak is. If this material and or diameter is wrong, then the placement of the leak is going to be wrong. You can hover over the pipe, right click on the pipe, and now you open up the menu window that allows you to pick something else. If it isn't 2-inch, let's say it's 24-inch, watch what happens to the leak. You can see how the leak moved when I changed that to 24-inch. So you got to make sure then that your pipe material and diameter is as accurate as you can possibly create it, and because that's going to determine the exact placement of the leak. Okay, and again, you can just simply hover over the pipe, right click on it, and that opens up your pipe material and diameter drop down windows. You can change it, recalculate the length. You can see how ZoneScan automatically recalculates the position of the leak, and then you would want to go back in and print out a brand new report because your leak moved positions based upon changing materials. Okay, good.
Where's the pen? Hey, Eric, if we get some GIS mapping, what type of file does it need to be?
It needs to be sent to me in a KML or KMZ.
Okay.
.kml or .kmz. KMZ is just a zipped KML file, and if you have your GIS, if you have your system on GIS, whether it's ArcGIS or Earthworks or whatever your software program is that has your pipe network, that software allows you to export those files, those pipe files, into a KML file format.
Okay.
And then just attach that KML file to an email and email it to me. And
Okay.
then I can then go into ZoneScan and upload that file into your project. Okay. You will have in your GIS data, you will also have different layers. So your data will not only have the length of pipe, your data is comprised of all of these lines that make up your pipe, and then your pipe has material and diameter in it too. So that should also export into the KML. And then also, if you have other layers, such as location of hydrant valves, location of mainline valves, location of service lines, whatever other areas or layers, they're called map layers, that you have that improve your data, send that to me also. So this way on the map, we'll be able to see the location of all your valves. Let me show you a customer with GIS data upload, and you'll see what it looks like. So you can see on this customer here, those green lines. That's all their KML that they sent to me. So their whole network is mapped, and now I can just hover over my cursor anywhere on the map and see what size pipe. And there's some very small dots. You may not be able to see it, but those are their valves and so on and so forth. So if you get me that data, it makes life really easy, and then you no longer have to do that manual drawing in of pipe. You don't have to do this. It's automatically going to be on the map, and ZoneScan will read that data.
Okay.
Okay, so it's wonderful if they have the GIS data. Send it to me in KML file format. I can get it uploaded, and life is really, really good for their leak detection activities then.
Okay.
And then we're not drawing, you know, whoever drew this pipe in did a really good job, but, you know, it's going to be, the GIS data is going to be a lot more accurate than us just drawing blue lines
Yeah.
in between loggers and around bends and stuff like this.
Okay.
And, you know, and it'll cover the whole system then too.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And then if you do get to that point, and we do upload the GIS, then we can have another quick training session, and I'll just show you all the little features of the GIS then, so you understand how ZoneScan is reading the GIS data. Okay.
All right.
But my advice is, it looks like you're turning everything on. Every time you send your loggers out, create a brand new area. Never create a brand new project. I think Max probably told you that the first training. You're creating a brand new area. You're always turning on the leak noise and the correlation, those two green slider buttons on ZoneScan Smart app. Those are always on. And then if you're leaving the loggers out for multiple days, make sure that from and until calendar, when you go to upload the data, is open wide enough to capture all of your days of data. The most important night of data is the first night that they're out there. That's the day, that's the only night that the leak, the blister spot correlation data is in those loggers. If you leave the loggers out for multiple days afterwards, and there's a leak, you're not going to be able to pinpoint it. So you got to scroll that calendar back to capture that first night of data. And you'll know that you're looking at the first night of data when you log on to ZoneScan Net and you see these speakers nice and active, as opposed to, what was the other one?
Maine College,
Uh,
Lincoln and College is what I think. I wasn't putting that.
that wasn't this one, was it?
I think it was the next, or Lincoln, I think, maybe. College and Lincoln.
Yep.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, here you go. If you upload data and you see these gray loggers, you know you didn't get correlation data, and then you got to take your calendar and scroll it back until the day pops up where you got your nice data. Okay. There was one here with no data in it at all. Which one was that one that was just on?
Test. Or yeah, this one was
This one here, East, Main, and Spring. As you can see, there's the area name, but there's no data. There's no data. So, and if I scroll the calendar forward, it just stays on July 16th. So this tells me that when you went to upload the data from East, Main, and Spring, on your ZoneScan Smart app on the tablet, you had the calendar set from July 16th until July 16th. It's the only day showing up, and you didn't capture any data on that day. Okay. I would open up the tablet again. If this was a real area that you did leak detection, open up the tablet and see which day that you collected the data in this area of East Main and Spring, and re-upload the data, this time moving your from and until dates back or forward or whatever you have to do to capture the day that there is data in here. But right now, what we're seeing on ZoneScan is no data.
Okay.
Okay, so now what you can do is you can go into your administration, go into areas, and now I see a list of all my areas, and I can go into East Main and Spring and just delete that from ZoneScan Net right now because there's no data in it.
No data
Now I'm not deleting anything from your tablet. If there is real data, it still exists on your tablet, and you have to re-upload that area again, this time adjusting the from and until dates of the calendar to capture the night that you actually collected data in that area.
Okay.
Okay. So that gets rid of that one. And my internet's a little slow here. Okay, so that's a brief overview of fine-tuning your ZoneScan net use. And I understand you turned on some loggers and you're going to go deploy some today, right?
We had a new area, so it's in with the other one.
Okay. So is it going to be?
It's under.
Is it going to be?
It's under the maple.
So there you go.
Yep. See, it's there. It's just under Maple 1. It's the other part of Maple 1.
Oh, okay. So if I go into Maple 1,
spring and
oh, yeah, okay, yeah,
create a new area for that.
yeah. Yeah, you got a few things screwed up here with the Maple 1 and yeah, I see what you did. Yeah, okay, okay, all right. Yeah, don't worry about it. Moving forward, every time you put the loggers out into the field, create a brand new area name for it, okay? I think what you did is you did a deployment. You created a new area name like you did. You deployed the loggers, you collected the loggers, you sent the data up, and then you turn the loggers on again without creating a new area name, and you did a different deployment somewhere. So now
No,
you
I've
got.
done the deployment underneath the Maple 1
Oh, okay.
area. And I realized it whenever I went to upload them, and I'm like,
Yep.
well,
Yep. And that's why you have double loggers. When you log into Maple 1 and go to June 30th, you see a double list of your loggers. Yeah. Because these gray loggers were the other area that you did.
Okay.
And now you did another area under Maple 1 and you got these ones here. So to avoid this little bit of a mess here, just create a new area name every time you send your log. Right before you're about to turn them on, the very first thing you want to do is create a new area name. Okay, A is the first letter of the alphabet. It's the first step of the day when you turn on your Zone Scan Smart app and you start your leak detection. Area name, new area name, turn on your loggers, deploy the loggers, and then upload the data. And then new area name. Okay, this way you won't get these double deployments under the same area name then. Okay.
All right.
Great.
Well, sounds good, Eric. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, get the GIS data to me if they have it, and we'll get it uploaded, and we can do hunt. Stay on top of their efforts. If we need to schedule, and when we're ready to schedule another training, just let us know. We can sit down and do another one of these then.
Sounds great. I appreciate it, guys.
Okay, quite welcome. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.